You know that feeling when you're writing something and it just feels a little flat? Or maybe it sounds way too formal, like a textbook? Well, the secret to fixing that might not be about what words you use, but how you put them together. Today, we're going to break down active and passive voice. And trust me, this isn't some boring grammar lesson. Think of it as a powerful tool you can use to make your writing so much better. So let's dive right in. Okay, so check this out. We've got two sentences here. First, she writes a letter. Simple enough. And second, a letter is written by her. Now think about it. They're saying the exact same thing, right? But the vibe is totally different. The first one feels direct, kind of punchy. The second one? A bit more formal, a little more distant. That, right there, is the power of choosing your voice. So which one do you think has more punch? Which one feels more powerful? Yeah, you're probably leaning towards the first one, right? She writes a letter. It just has this energy, this directness. And figuring out why it feels that way, well, that's the whole secret to becoming a better writer. So let's get into it, starting with the hero of the story. All right, let's meet our first contender, the active voice. I want you to think of the active voice as the hero of your sentence. It's the main character, the one who gets things done. It's clear, it's direct, and it's always in charge. So here's the absolute key to understanding it. In an active voice sentence, the subject, that hero we just talked about, is the one actually doing something. They are performing the action. It's really that simple. It's all about figuring out who's in the driver's seat of the sentence. And the structure for this is so simple and clean. You've got your subject, then the verb, then the object. So the person or thing doing something, what they're doing, and what they're doing it to. It's a straight line, super logical, which is why our brains love it. Let's see it in action. The boy kicked the ball. Okay, who's doing the action? The boy. He's our subject. How about the teacher explains the lesson? Who's explaining? The teacher. And of course, our old friend, she writes a letter. It's direct, it's punchy, and honestly, it's how we talk most of the time without even thinking about it. Okay, so now for the other side of the coin, let's meet our second character, the passive voice. Now, if the active voice is the hero, the passive voice is kind of like the quiet observer standing on the sidelines. It's not so worried about who did something, it's much more focused on the thing that happened. And this is where things get flipped completely on their head. In a passive sentence, the subject isn't doing a single thing. Nope. It's just sitting there, having the action happen to it. The spotlight has moved from the doer to the receiver. Now, the structure is a little more involved. I'm not going to lie. You take the object from the original sentence and make it the new subject. Then you pop in a be verb, like is, was, were. After that comes something called the past participle of the main verb. And then sometimes you add by in the person who actually did the thing. It's a few more moving parts for sure. So let's flip our examples. The ball was kicked by the boy. See? Suddenly it's all about the ball. Or the lesson was explained by the teacher. The lesson gets the spotlight. And a letter is written by her. The letter is now the star of the show. It's the exact same event, just viewed from a completely different angle. Okay, so let's put this side by side. Active voice, it's all about the doer. It's direct, it's clear, it's how we talk. Passive voice, the focus is on the action or the thing the action happened to. It's more formal, more indirect. That's why you see it all the time in things like news reports or scientific papers. It makes things sound more objective. All right, so now you get the difference. But how do you actually, do it? How do you flip a sentence from one to the other? Well, it's actually a pretty simple 5-step process. Let's walk through it together. We're going to use our favorite example. She writes a letter. So the very first thing you got to do is identify the parts. Who's the subject? She. What's the verb, the action? Writes. And what's the object? A letter. Simple enough, right? Okay, here we go, step by step. Step 1, identify the parts. We just did that. Step 2, take the object, a letter, and make it the new subject. Step 3, add a be verb. Since writes is happening now, we use is. Step 4, change the main verb to its past participle. Don't let that term scare you. It's just the form you'd use with have or has, like eaten or seen. So write becomes written. And step 5, which is optional, you can add by and the original subject. Put it all together, and you get a letter is written by her. See? Not so bad. Now, this is maybe the most important takeaway of all. This is not about active is good and passive is bad. That's not it at all. It's about making a smart, strategic choice. Knowing when to use each one is like a superpower for a writer. It's all about controlling your message. So that leads to a really good question. I mean, we've all been told a million times, use the active voice, it's stronger. But are there times when the passive voice is actually the better choice? The answer is a big yes, and it's super important to know when those times are. Okay, so you'll want to pull out the passive voice in a few key situations. First, when you have no idea who did the thing, like the car was stolen. We don't know who stole it, so passive works perfectly. Second, use it when the action is way more important than who did it. Think of a sign that says, masks must be worn. The rule is the important part, not who's enforcing it. And finally, like we said, it's the go-to for formal, scientific stuff to make it all sound very neutral and official. Oh, and here's a quick heads up on a super common mistake. You gotta use that past participle form of the verb, not just the regular past tense. So it's not a letter is wrote, it's a letter is written. It's not the song was sang, it's the song was sung. Getting that little detail right makes all the difference. Okay, enough talk. You've heard the theory, you've seen how it's done, now it's your turn. Let's put these skills to the test. What do you say? Ready? Here's your first one. The sentence is, she makes a cake. Okay, think about those steps we went through. How would you flip that into the passive voice? I'll give you a second. All right, how'd you do? The answer is, a cake is made by her. You take a cake, make it the subject, makes becomes is made. And there you have it. If you got that, you're doing great. Okay, let's try one more. This one's in the past tense, so pay attention. The sentence is, they built the house. How would you change that to put the focus on the house? Go ahead, think it through. And the answer is, the house was built by them. The house moves to the front. Since built is past tense, we use was. And built is already the past participle, so that's easy. Awesome, you are totally getting the hang of this. So at the end of the day, what have we learned? Active voice gives you energy and directness. Passive voice gives you a more formal tone and lets you shift the focus. And remember, neither one is better than the other. They're just different tools in your toolbox. The real power comes from knowing which one to pick for the job. So the question I'll leave you with is this. Your words have power. How are you going to voice them?